Good evening, guys. Welcome to this demo session. Please
Good
confirm
evening,
me.
Sagar.
Yeah, good evening. So I'm audible, and do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah, we
good.
could see it.
Yeah, good to see you all. So, may I have a quick introduction from you all? Like, what are you expecting from this demo, and are you familiar with this technology called Cisco ISE, or how is it related to you in your production? Are you already working on this technology, or you're preparing for a CCI security and that's the reason you are here? So, a quick introduction would be great.
Hey, what's going
Hi,
on? Can
Sagar.
everybody hear me? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I could go first if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Super excited to be here. My name is Gerard Cavalinas. I'm based out of Pennsylvania here, Scranton, Pennsylvania. I've been in IT for a little over 19 years or so. I love IT, started with the help desk, worked my way up, and I am now currently a network and security engineer for a huge VAR based out of Boston. For me, it was exciting because I really wanted to dive into the granularness of ICE, and with this new role, I've been doing that the last 7 months or so. So I'm definitely just looking to add to my arsenal. In addition to what I've been self-studying, learning for, I do have active certifications, and I'm currently working and very, very close to knocking out my CCNA. Once that's finished, then I can move on to my CCNP and security. Thank you for
Okay,
having me.
good. Yeah, great. Welcome. Yeah, how about others? Might be one or other way you would have heard about this technology. Is there anyone who has not heard about this technology, or which certification track does this technology touch? Or if you don't want to be, you can just talk about the technology itself, if whatever you know about this.
Uh,
Sagar,
I,
is this going to be a full course on Cisco ISE or it's a just introduction or something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be the full batch of Cisco ISE of 2 to 3 months. Okay, so today is the demo for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hi,
hi,
my name
Nisha.
my name is Ignacio Sanchez, and I've taken a few classes here at Network Journey, but I do have some experience with ICE. Where I work, we've implemented it about a year ago, so we're going through different use cases. So we've gone through the let's say the wireless and also the wired posturing, and now we're and also for any connect, and now we're moving on to TACACS. So it it's a good product, but I figured I can always learn some more, so that's why I'm here. And
Okay, so
if that is part of the CCIE security, it doesn't hurt. So
yes, definitely. Yeah, this is a part of CCI security. Okay. How about others?
Yeah, hi,
My
this
name
is
is Pepe.
𝐍𝐄𝐖.
My name is Pepe Manyamale. I am from Lesotho. It's a country in Southern Africa. I'm a network administrator for the United Nations Development Program, and I am CCNP certified and looking forward to do CCIE. I have CCNP enterprise infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah, you do have Cisco ISE in enterprise as well. There is a onboarding between DNAC, Cisco ISE. Okay, so this product is highly utilized in security as well as in enterprise level. Okay. Anyone else before I can
Yeah,
get
can I speak?
started? Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, hi, this is 𝐍𝐄𝐖 here. Uh, so I'm currently working as a network security engineer on a MNC company. I'm from India currently. So the main job for me is maintaining the security postures and everyday troubleshooting. So Cisco ISE, so I've already done my security. So as you know, that CCNP security is being divided into parts right now. So I have the initial certification with me, but the specialization is still pending. So ICE could be a very good prospect for that second specialization which I'll be having. So was thinking of having this session to have an understanding of ICE. Previously, I was in a company where Cisco ISE was implemented with Cisco AnyConnect and all. So I have a little bit of idea on the dashboard and all things, but would be a very good stepping stone if we have a session on this to have a more understanding and deep knowledge on this. So that's what my ask is. That's all.
Okay. All right. So good to have you all here in this demo. So this demo would be to understand this particular technology, and also we will go through about the certification and the roadmap and the topics that we would be covering in this the full batch basically for this. Okay. So let me start. So my name is Sagar, and I will be the instructor for this course. And also, this is a part of CCI Security. It's one topic which is part of CCI Security, and the whole CCI Security itself, I am taking in a different time slot. And for some people who are already enrolled for my CCI Security, for you guys, this is the next module. And for some people who are here to attend the demo, we will start with Cisco ISE. And in parallel, there are the other modules also running up for the S-Core and for the SVPN and for the ASA firewall. So I'll be giving you all overall clear picture in some time how this is being scheduled, and more from the Cisco ISE point of view for today. And also we will be having the sales call in the end of this session itself. So I request you to be in this call so to understand the pricing structure of this training, the materials that you would get with this training. So that will be at the end of the course. So park all your question related to pricing or the time schedule or the syllabus for the very end, so that my salesperson can answer you all. It will be a dedicated session by him. So, and you have any doubt, you can clarify with him in this session itself. So, moving further, I will first would like to clear about what is Cisco ISE, because there could be people who are from the enterprise level or from the CCNA and would never know what this Cisco ISE is. So let's say, have you guys heard about something called Cisco ACS? Anytime access control?
Yes. Heard it, yes.
Yes. So this used to be the Cisco solution for AAA once upon a time. Okay, this used to be the main source of authentication factor for Radius or TechAS. And where do it come? Say, for example, let me draw a three-tier architecture. Let's say I have a core, I have a distribution, I got my access layer switches, and I have PCs, users connected to this, right? You might also know that we hardly do a local user creations on them, because that would be a very tedious job to do the user configurations or uh, to do on local basis. I cannot log into each devices to do create some users. Let's say user one has joined our team, so I'm going across on all of these devices and do the configuration so that this guy can take a SSH on these devices. And let's say on the second day, I have another person joining in, and I just redo the same whole traditional process of creating those users manually by logging to each devices, right? This is not feasible solution in the case of production. So this is why what we used to do was we used to connect the ACS system, ACS, that is access control system, and we used to configure AAA technology. So AAA supports two protocols, either TCAS plus or Radius. So ACS supports both of them. It supports TCAS plus, or you can have it as a Radius server, either one of it. And then you enable the AAA on each one of them. So you enable AAA, you point it to that server. Let's say this server is located at 172.16.24.100, and you point it to all to that. Now what happens is you don't have to do any configuration manually on these devices. Whatever users or whatever accounts that you want to create, you can create directly in the ACS system. So the ACS system was acting as the AAA server. Now, whenever, let's say, if a user has to connect to the device, what does he do? He does a SSH to that device. Let's say he puts his username and he wants to connect to some network switch or network router or a firewall, and he put this command on the terminal server. Now, what happens? This information will go to the ACS server. ACS server will permit or deny based on what is being asked or what is being configured. If let's say it is to allow, now the user is through. Now the user is successfully connected to that device. Second thing, because AAA is not just about the account authentication, it's about accounting and authentication, accounting, and also for the authorization, right? So it will also record all the traces, who has logged in, who has done what type of command trigger, who has rebooted it, who has done the configuration. So it will also record it. Also, accounting, in the sense, what is he supposed to trigger the command? Is he allowed to do all types of show commands? Is it he allowed to get into the configuration T of your device and do the configuration? So all that you can do it under the AAA server. Okay, ACS server, basically called as ACS. So you could do everything related to only AAA. Then one fine day, Cisco announced the end of life for the ACS server, because only ACS was being very restricted by ACS. I mean, it was very limited feature that ACS could support. That is just a one part of Cisco ISE, that is AAA concept. So Cisco announced end of life, and almost 2022, the complete end of life for the hardwares, for the softwares, for the support, and all the things were happened by 2022. And there was no more support given to this. And Cisco encouraged to upgrade to Cisco ISE. Now, coming to Cisco ISE, it is not just AAA, because AAA is just 1% of, let's say, the total feature that ISE can support. ISE can do much more thing than AAA. It can support policy, it can have postures, it can do the global policy configuration. You can integrate ISE in the security domain, act as a bridge between all the different devices that you have. So ISE is something which is not just AAA or not just ACS, but it's more than what you expect from the security devices. Okay, so to get understanding of what ISE can do or what exactly is ISE, I've put down this few features and benefits. You can see that it's a policy management, centralized policy management. You might come across this terms like SD-WAN controller or ACI controller, Meraki controller. So basically, these are a centralized management controller where you can see all the onboarded V-edges or could be onboarded leaf switches, right? Similar way, ISE can also see all the different aspects. Could be guest, could be policies, could be network devices, could be the user activities, could be the software or the origin of the software or origin of the applications. So it can see or sense most of the things that you need from the cyber security or a network security. So it's like a centralized policy management tool. It also supports not just AAA, but it also supports .1x, MAC authentication, MAP, guest access control. It also sends all high level overview of user activity, real time monitoring, logging, reporting, everything that you need or you expect from the AAA server or a NAC. It's also called as a network access control solution. It is also scalable. That means you can have redundancy. You can onboard the device very easily on the Cisco ISE. You can also generate the report as per your country. If there is any GDPR compliance or regulations, you can also add those policies via Cisco ISE. You can enforce this particular policies through Cisco ISE. And also the dashboard. Now you know that there is a ISE version 3.3 which is launched, and sometimes back the production was using 2.x, 2.x, 2.8, 2.9, but nowadays 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. These are some of the versions that's going on, and you can expect the more simpler dashboard and more options in the dashboards. And also, if you have seen the threat response or mitigation, we can also add this rules using the Cisco ISE. So you can integrate Cisco FTD with Cisco ISE, and Cisco ISE can act as a remediation in case if it sends a user, might be who is having a threat on his machine, and you want to put some remediation step, or you sense there is a traffic more than 1 MB and you want to stop that. So these policies we can add in the Cisco ISE. So between Cisco ISE, Cisco Firepower, we will integrate this two technology, and we will put the policies on the Cisco ISE. If we see this, we will take this action. So Cisco ISE is not just AAA right now, it's much more than AAA. And that is where the ACS was having a limitation, because ACS was limited only till AAA. It was not having a centralized controller, or you could not onboard FTD for the threat intelligence. Okay, it was not a very not a product with lot of scope. That is what Cisco decided to obsolete that product and bring up the Cisco ISE. Cisco ISE nowadays you will see in enterprise level also. Plus in the security, you will expect at least one or two questions from the ISE. Not two questions, it's in fact more questions from the security domain. Whereas in the enterprise, you can expect one or two questions from the Cisco ISE. So usually in the Cisco security, CCI security version 6.0, they were question asked from ISE and DNAC onboarding, Cisco ISE and the AAA configurations, Cisco ISE and some policy configurations that we had to do. So there were at least 4 to 5 topics that are usually asked from Cisco ISE in the security domain. Okay, so it's very important topic, and nowadays you will see, because the ACS is gone and there is no other options left. So a lot of customers will have to upgrade to ISE itself, and that transition has happened in most of the companies by now. And some companies who are still using ACS, one fine day when the ACS don't come up or has gone on a bug level or something, then there is no other way. You have to bring up the ISE with you, ISE server with you. So this is very detailed one which I've captured, I've prepared, and I've put depending upon my experience with ISE. Okay, so this I will give it in the class. For now, let's just jump over on this. Okay, this is about the ISE and ACS, which I've already discussed. It's very limited to AAA, TechAs and Radius, and a bit of logging, which you could see. But with Cisco ISE, it's more about the centralized management, policy management. You can integrate with a lot of other security product. In fact, Cisco Firepower, PX Grid being the communication between the two different security appliances. DNAC, the DNAC projects are never complete without ISE integration. The first thing that you do in the DNAC is to integrate with Cisco ISE. Okay. And also you can have a very granular visibility from the real-time perspective, logging, reporting, the user behavior, user activities. You see that you can put a policy that if a user is trying to um, download or trying to send a packet level more than 1 Mbps, then just block him, don't allow him. If you see something coming from, let's say, very outdated operating machine, just block it. So all those things you can put under the remediation of Cisco ISE. Okay, coming to the certification part, because this is always a very like the most asked question. So you might know that if I talk from the security domain perspective, okay, it could be, let's say, CCNA or CCNP, CCI Security. So as such, there is no security, at least in CCNA. There is only a global paper, which is 20301, and it consists of switching, routing, IP security, IP services, a bit on network programmability, and all those stuff. And when you go to CCNP, you have a dedicated track for security, and the mandatory paper being called as SCORE paper, which is MCQ plus case studies. And then there are some concentration paper, which when you complete, you are called as a CCNP certified. Or some people can directly jump from SCORE to the CCI lab exam, which is that 8 hours of paper. That is your choice. If your ultimate goal is to get the CCI rank, then people directly jump from SCORE to the CCI. But someone who wants to go step by step, you guys can actually plan one of the paper from concentration. So there are multiple paper here. You have ASA, FTD, which is next gen firewall, uh, Cisco ISE being one of them. This is where the Cisco ISE paper comes. Okay. And so on. You have something for automation track. You have something for email security appliance, web security appliance. You have SVPN. So these are all the different concentration paper. When you do the CCI security, you might need multiple modules knowledge. So it's good to have a dedicated knowledge on the S4, then the ASAFTD, then the Cisco ISE, then SVPN, ESA, and the automation. So when you do the CCI security, it is better to have these knowledge. But if you are only focusing as of now from the CCNP security, then this is one of the mandatory paper, and then you have to select one of the concentration paper out of this 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. So some can go with SVPN if you are more inclined toward VPN, or if you want to go with the firewalls like ASFTD, then that's one of the option. Or someone who wants to pick it up with Cisco ISE because you think this is also in your production and this will give you a good solid grip, then you can go with Cisco ISE. So two paper will qualify you for a CCNP security, that is SCORE and Cisco ISE, in case if you prefer to go this combination. And also it will give you another tagline called as specialist, specialist in Cisco ISE. That's the technology which you have taken up from concentration paper. So you're now a specialized in Cisco ISE. If you would have considered to take on a VPN topic, then you would have been a specialized in the VPN technology plus the score paper. So this would give you a complete CCNP security tagline. This is from the CCNP level. Some people, they don't care about CCNP. They just want to jump into CCI, a complete CCI certified. So for you guys, it is S4 and the 8 hours of lab that will give you the CCI rank. Okay, so that is about the certification as of now in 2024. The very older traditional certificate that we used to have, routing, switching, security, and then you go to the CCNP level, you had three papers like routing, switching, troubleshooting. The CCI used to be have different papers like written paper and lab paper. Now there is a bridge between CCNP and CCI lab. The score remains the same and is also called as the written paper of your CCI. And then just you have to prepare is the 8 hours of lab. And when you clear both of them, you are CCI certified. And without score clear, you cannot book your 8 hours of lab. So score is the mandatory paper. Once you clear this paper, you know the booking format of this, right? Cisco Pearson is where you will book this exam. So when you go to Cisco Pearson website, you can book this paper. You can have it virtually. You can have it by visiting the Pearson affiliated institute and clear this. So there is an option to do it from home or online, what I mean to say. When you move to the lab booking, it's not the Pearson website. There's another dedicated website which is hosted on Cisco domain, and you can book your exam only if you are already score certified. If you are score certified, then only you can book this lab exam. And this lab exam has to be physically attended. There are various lab centers across the world, across multiple countries. You can find those in-person campus where you can go and you can write your exam. But in case if you still don't find anything nearby your country or your state, then there is something called mobile centers, mobile CCI centers, which has two options. Either you bring your own device, BYOD, bring your own laptop, bring your own mouse, keyboard, and attempt the exam in this mobile centers. There will be another set of mobile centers. There are now closely 30 to 40 different mobile centers. Apart from those full-fledged lab units, there are mobile services nowadays, mobile CCI campus. You can bring your own laptop and write the exam. But in case of any hardware failure, in this case, you won't be getting any voucher or refund or any sort of thing. They will just fail you, saying that it was your own mistake of carrying your hardware and it didn't show up on the exam day or the laptop didn't support. They are not held responsible for it. So the charges are a bit different here. Let's say the charges are 1200 USD in this case. They also give you another option that you can use their machines. Okay, you can use their PC or the mouse and all other different hardware gates of those mobile centers, and that would be bit on a higher cost. But at least if there is any issues, they will either reissue you the voucher or they might give you another date in that case. So these are the provisions for that lab booking these days. I'm not sure from which uh, era you might belong, because there are certain times when you might have done CCI very long back, 10 years back, or you might have done CCNP 4 years, 5 years back. So this all got revamped in 2022, 23. There was a lot of things getting changed. Also 2020, where all this major update happened, and then continuously in last 2-3 years, there is a lot of changes that's been happened and introduced. All that mobile centers, I think it was in the last 2-3 years when they launched it, and the exam concept of concentration paper and the written being the same between CCNP and CCI, that was all changed in 2020. Okay, so this is something about the certification point. I've just kept it here. So this is the concentration paper you have for security, Cisco ISE, the next gen firewalls, the email security appliances, the web security appliances, VPNs, and the automation. And you can select one of them. And we are right now on Cisco ISE. Okay. In case anyone is interested on anything else like SVPN or automation or ACFTD, then we do also have those standalone courses. If in case Cisco ISE you don't want to get into, but anything else, then we also provide those. These are the official links. If you, okay, let me show you these links. So this is the score paper, and these are the concentration paper. And when you click on each one of them, it will take you to the subject topic and the things about this particular thing. Regards to the hardwares that you see on the security version 6.1, so you would see something like this. So this is the version that is used right now in the CCI security version 6.1. So earlier in 6.0, it was 2 dot series, but now they have upgraded the hardware. It's 3.1.1. And even in the lab with us, we would be doing on 3.0 itself, because that is the ask right now. And you will expect to configure on this interface. And these are the other appliances and hardwares that you will see. Okay, the firepower being the 7 series, the FMC being the 7 series, the latest one. CSR 16.6.3. You have still ASA been asked, at least 2-3 questions being asked from ASA, like the remote access VPN, then security context, clusters, those configurations you've been asked to configure on the ASA. So you have a WLC, you have DNA. I was telling you that there was a task to integrate DNA and Cisco ISE, right? So not much from DNA, at least in security, because this is a topic from enterprise level. But here in security, you will have one question, which is where you integrate DNA and ISE and some of the asked requirement from this two technology. So these are all virtual unit. I'll also be talking about how ISE are deployed. Does it have a inbuilt hardwares, or whether it's built on virtual or whether it's built on cloud. But these are all virtual machines that you will see. And on top, there will be some physical boxes. So the ASA for cluster and context, you will not be able to do on virtual instance. So you need a physical gears for that. And on the CCI racks, you will expect the hardwares, and there are catalyst switches and a wireless access point. So this is also something you can't use in the emulator. You need to have a physical access point. And the Cisco umbrella license. So the license will be given, and you have to integrate it at the given task for the Cisco umbrella. And the sum of the test machines running Windows 10 Enterprise. You will have the Windows AD server to be configured and a Kali Linux to generate some packets, because you have AMP in the CCI security. So you will have a task related to generate some packet and increase the packet count so that the security policies that you add in the AMP, the rules you make, they get triggered. And definitely the AnyConnect VPN client in order to have the remote access VPN tested and approved. So these are the overall hardwares that you see in the security exam, and all being at the latest level nowadays, because sometime back these were all 6 dot versions, but now it's all 7 series. 7 is the latest version on the next gen firewalls, firepowers. And the security engines are running on 3.1 and 3.2. 3.2 is the Cisco recommended version nowadays. If you go to this link to see the Cisco BU recommended software, so it's 3.2 these days, even though you might have 3.3 launched. So you have 3.3. Okay, so this is the train here, 3.30 patch and patch 2. So wherever you see that star, that means it's a view recommended. So if someone is on the 3.3, then patch 2 is the recommended. If someone is at 3.2 or 3.1, and if you see a star next to it, that means that's the view recommended as of now. Two is been gone. I don't say it's gone. There are multiple enterprises which are still running at 2, but definitely one no one is using. You can see the deferred releases. And 2 also 2.7 is been obsolete now. So you will see something like 2. Either you go with 2.9 or something like that, or you can go with 3.1, 3.0. These are all the supported version. So if you take something from deferred release and be using, the Cisco TAC will not give you any support on them. So it's advisable you take anything from here, but preferable or the good one is the one which is with the star symbol. So you can see what does that star represent. Cisco suggested release based on software quality, stability, and longevity. Try software release. So this is where you find all the bugs and any security breaches or vulnerabilities hitting on your existing image. So if you put this and let's say 3 dot or let's say 2.7.0 view bugs. So you can see the 15 bugs are being introduced. So that was about the exam pattern. Okay. So this pattern is for CCI, which consists of 8 hours, 3 plus 5, 3 being for the design and 5 hours being for the troubleshooting, deploy and operate. Okay, now coming to the exam format. Since we are talking about 2 topics right now, Cisco ISE and CCI security. So Cisco ISE is gonna have multi question answer and case studies and let's say few task based, and it is like 90 to 120 minutes. The cost of this paper is around 400 USD. This you can attempt from Pearson website over virtual or by in person. Whereas for CCI security, it is a 8 hours of paper, 3 hours dedicated for design and 5 hours dedicated for design, operate, optimize. And this, as I told, 80 hours, and the paper cost is around 1,600 USD. This has to be in person. Okay, so in short, I gave you overview of both the exam, Cisco Security and Cisco ISE. So any question till now before I move to the next slide? Any question with any of the aspect from certification, from training, or the roadmap for security or ISE? Can I have a quick thumbs up? Okay, going to the installation. So there are different ways you can deploy this. Either you can get them pre-installed on the hardwares, and these are the hardware series, which is in the 3300, 3315, 3355, 3395. But nowadays, these are all obsolete, end of life. So might be Cisco thinks that these devices are not in good number of sales and should move in a different aspect, or we should give it in a VM format so that the customers can deploy it on their side. However, most of them are obsolete now, end of life now. But there used to be the dedicated hardware. It used to look something like this. If you see this screenshot, so this is how the ICE used to come in pre-built. So hardware plus the software, and you can just connect it to the power cord, connect to the network, configure the management port, and then do the rest of the configuration. So it was very simple. But nowadays, these hardwares are gone now. Hardwares are taken down. There is another way that you can deploy it rather than going with VPN. Rather than going with the VM, you can also find these servers. So these servers are like your Intel servers with certain CPUs and the RAM and the processors. You can decide what server you need, and then you can top up this software. So you need version 2 or you want version 3. That's up to you, which you can put on a dedicated servers which look something like this. Okay, there comes different models for secure network servers. So I picked up 3 of them. So these are the 3 network servers with the model number 3715, 3755, 3795. This being for the small enterprises, mid, and the large, depending upon the throughput and the different hardware components. So you take it up, you decide what you need, and you deploy the ICE image, and you have a hardware-based ICE with you. But hardwares are not at all mandatory ones, because most of the enterprise deploy it on the VM based. They get the .ova file. You can put it on the EXI hypervisor, or you can put it on the VM workstation as well. So that is the option that is with you. So mm, uh, either go with the secure network servers and deploy the image, or you get the images from the download center and deploy it in the EXI model. So that deployment on the EXI, I will be showing you in the lab. So if you go to our lab, this is our emulator that we use. It's similar to EVNG, or I can say GNS3 in case if you've not heard about EVNG. So this is an emulator where I have deployed Cisco ISE. This is where I have deployed Cisco ISE, and I kept one for you guys to show in today's class. So I will give you a touch and feel of this dashboard. And I'll also do the basic configuration. Though I have done few configuration right now, That is, I have put the AD inside this. I have put the DNS inside this. I have put the NTP protocol, network time protocol. I have put the CA certificate authority in this. So this is acting as my Windows server. Okay, and the rest of the things get the DNS resolution or the NTP time sync all from this Windows server. So this is just for the demo purpose. I have done few items pre-handed, but when you enroll to the batch, you will be given with this lab topology and all blank. All needs to be all would be blank. That means nothing configured, because when we start with the day one, we will be configuring one topic in a class, right? So let's say I'm going with AD and DNS, so I'll be taking it whole 1 hour or 2 hours in the session, and after my session is done, you will be doing it on your side. So you will be receiving a very blank image or blank topology with the device being plugged. You will spin it up, you will do the management configuration, and you will configure as we do check in the live classes. So for now, since we are limited, we are bounded to the time, I've put one ICE server and I have powered it on before the class, because it takes very good number of time, like 30 to 40 minutes for the service to come up. So I've just powered it on and nothing configured as of now. We can check it here. This is where the basic management CLI will pop up. To configure this, let's type setup. It's asking me to put the qualified host name. So let's say it's a demo ICE today. So demo ICE 1. It is asking me to put the IP address. And in my lab topology, I have maintained my management IP in this subnet. Okay, so this being already configured at .200 and this is at .1. This is 198. My management PC is on 199. So maybe I can give it .205. 192, 168, 100.205. So we go here. I'll say 192, 168, 100.205. Net mask is class C. Default gateway is my Win server. So I'll be pointing my gateway to this, because in future, as I told, this is responsible for Active Directory, DNS, NTP protocol, and for major things. So it is better to keep that as a gateway. So let's say 192, 168, 100, 198, correct? That is the IP which I have allocated on server. Okay. 198. Do you want to configure IPv6? As of now, no. So say N. Domain name. This is very important for your ICE to onboard on the first step. It will check few things like DNS, NTP. If it don't, your ICE will not get proceeded. You will always be receiving error like NTP not reachable or AD not reachable. And also at the time of integration between ICE and AD, you will have a problem. So this is very important, DNS domain. And in my lab, I have configured this DNS. Okay, let me tell you what DNS I've configured. I have called it as srv.networkjourney.com. So that is the name I've given to this AD server. I'll show you that in some time. So let's configure the same domain name here. So let's say srv.networkjourney.com. Primary name server. That is nothing but the IP behind your domain server or DNS, which is 192.168.100.198. I don't need any secondary server. I will say no. Enter the NTP server. Now your NTP server configs are also the same server itself. I told you, right? This particular server, I've installed all the features related to AD, NTP, DNS, CA. So I will give the same host name or FQDN name to also act as my NTP server. I'll say that my server is or my NTP is located at this point. Add another NTP server as of now. No. Enter the system time zone UTC. Okay, it's fine, UTC. Enable SSH service, you can say yes. Enter the username admin. Enter the password, let's say network journey @123. Password again. And there it goes. It will try to bring up your network interface. It will try to ping NTP. It will try to resolve this DNS. A lot of things will happen, and if it is all good, you get a success message, or you will get some messages like, do you want to bypass this? And later on, you want to configure DNS or name server. You will get those options in some time. Okay, so what does it say? Gateway ping failed, retry, yes or no? Let's say no for this. We will check it later. Pinging the primary name server. It says that name server ping failed, try yes or no. Let's say no. And then it is configuring the VM disk. And there is also another reason, because we have not put the cable. So let's say I put this cable here and connect to the management interface. So ISE don't come as such of a dedicated management interface like you see in the case of Palo Alto firewalls or FortiGate firewalls. Here you will have to connect on a data interface itself. So I'm connecting to data interface and to one of my layer 2 switch. Okay, one cable I connected. And it says that sync with NTP server failed, incorrect time, could retry. Okay, let's try with yes now, since we have connected the cable. Enter the NTP domain. No, our domain is at this location. We can modify this once we get the access to dashboard. We can modify all the settings. Okay, so it progressed. The initial application, initial setup for application. Now from this point, you need another 30 minutes for the application service to come up. Okay, this whole procedure will go for let's say 45 to 60 minutes. So for the initial boot up process till the configuration easily takes up to 30 minutes. And then when you do all this configuration, and then afterwards it will take another 20 to 30 minutes for you to bring up the services. So on the first day, you will see almost your 1 hour being spent on bringing this up. But once you have this being set up and you have all the basic things being configured, the second attempt onwards, it's not such a high time consuming, but still to bring up the services, it still take 15 to 20 minutes sometimes. And also it's very high resource intense device. You are supposed to give 16 GB RAM with almost 8 core CPU. Then only it will boot up properly within 15 to 20 minutes. If you try to give 4 GB RAM or even 6 GB RAM, you will be stuck in the CPU stuck processes. It will not proceed, or it will not be giving you the service up. You will be always stuck with the application, which will not uh, get you the graphical interface either. Okay, so ICE is very high RAM maintenance. If you don't have enough resource in your local machine, then you prefer going with our remote lab that we would be giving as a part of this course. So you will get at least like 3 to 4 months of remote lab with this technology for this particular class. If you have very good your personal server or your personal laptop with 32 GB RAM, then we will give you this whole setup as well. The whole setup with all the images and the cablings and all those things that has been done as it is, we will give you, which will be deployed directly on your machine, and you can spin it up as per your convenience if you have the resources. 16 GB is also not sufficient on your laptop to run this, because I can show you the template. If you open the template of Cisco ISE, I've given on one node almost like 16 GB, 16 GB and 8 CPU. And then I got the services coming up, or the application service coming up. By default, the template would be like 8 GB, but that is not sufficient. So you should have at least 16 GB for one node. So for two nodes, if you want to see the high availability topics, you need two nodes, and you will need 32 GB only for this. And on top, you will need a window management PC with 3 to 4 GB. You need a server which is another 2 to 3 GB. You need some test PC, you need some switch, you need some routers, you need some ASA firewall, you might add some firepower appliances. You keep adding the resources, keep increasing on your lab. Okay, so that is how this works on the emulators or on the virtualization. Okay, so let's, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, come on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the CPU that you have sent, you have just here, right? Eight core CPU. So it is a CPU, or it is a physical CPU.
It is the physical CPU, not the logical CPUs. Physical 8 CPU, which is equivalent to 16 logical CPU, logical processor.
Yes, so I saw you just said that one of the applications you considered eight CPU, right? Just now you have shown to us. So I mean, for example, if I have a laptop or a desktop which have a eight core CPU with enough RAM like 32 GB or 64 GB of RAM. So can it be set up the whole system like ICE, including all the servers what
How much is your laptop, you said?
I have a laptop with 8 core CPU with 48 GB of RAM, so I can increase the RAM
Yeah,
also.
yeah, that will be good enough. So if you have this much on your laptop, you can keep at least might be 4 core or 6 core for ICE. Sorry, on for your lab emulators, and might be from this you can keep 32 GB assigned for the emulator. So this should be sufficient for the virtualization, and from this we can then dedicate to the particular ICE or the Win server, etc.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to interrupt once more again. Actually, I missed earlier what you have said. So my requirement is, I just want to learn the ICE, and yes, you're going to teach how to hands-on on the ICE. But before that, I just want to know why ICE is needed, and in the market there is also ICE like feature like from another vendor like from Aruba we have. Gear pass, and from another vendor 14 years also there. So what I bring into the table, and and what are the features that I have and another vendor doesn't have. So I did this kind of, discussion also.
Yeah, we had one discussion in the beginning of today's class where I was pointing from ACS to ICE. And at that time, I told more benefits of using Cisco ISE, which was a restriction, and the ACS. So this both being from the Cisco product. Okay. Now what happens is, so enterprises who are having a contract with Cisco, who have ACS, so they will upgrade to ISE itself because of the tax support, or might be the device migration. It's all very easy for someone to migrate to ICE rather than bringing a complete different vendor and then signing up for the tag or their business unit. It's a cost factor also sometimes. Okay, from the product point of view, you can expect similarities. Plus, you might expect some differences in terms of handling, support, could be features, right? But it is always like how convenient and how fast and how error free you can upgrade from a obsolete product to another product that you need in your enterprise. It's very similar question, like if someone asks, should I go with Palo Alto or should I go with FortiGate or should I go with Cisco Firewall? They all are meant for next gen firewalls. They might be 99% they are doing the same job. Might be 1% the look and feel, or might be some feature is up and down in each one of them. But again, it's ultimately depends on your need, your costing factor. Are you already signed up with Cisco? Then the challenge is, if you go with the Palo Alto, then there is a whole lot of transition happening, whole lot of engineers you might need who is capable of taking Palo Alto deployment. So a lot of other factors also get involved in such cases. Okay. All right. Come back. See, this will go for 30-40 minutes. Let it go. We will see if this comes up again with the configured items. So what I've done is I already have one more Cisco ISE, two more Cisco ISE, which I can show you right now. So to take the access of this, let me show you the CLI first. So this is being configured with admin and network journey @123. Commands will be very similar as of your other Cisco devices. So if you do show interface, let's say gig0, this is where I have configured its management IP 100.200. You want to check what is the NTP or name servers. You can definitely do the show run, and you can see that it's pointing at 8.8.8, which we can change if in case I know that I am reachable to my own DNS or own name server. I can give a ping, let's say srv.networkjourney.com. I'm reachable to this. Okay, let's say 192.168.100.198. That's the IP behind this SRV. So you can see that it's reachable. Okay. And also remember the NTP configuration. We have already mapped it to the server itself. See, right now it might be pointing to this. So you can get into the configuration mode and you can change it. So the behavior is also very similar as of your Catalyst or any other Cisco devices. You can go into configuration, you can define name server, you can say that this is what you want to do it. Okay. Do you want to set this as the name server? Or let's say you wanted to change the NTP server, then you can go with NTP server and then type whatever the FQDN that you have configured in your lab. So this is one of the way. If in case you are familiar with CLI, you can do things directly on this, or you can take the graphical interface. So this is how the graphical interface. Let me log out and log in. So let's log out. See, one of my ISE server is being integrated with my domain server. That is why you will see the option which I'm going to show you. Say, for example, one of my ISE server, I've already integrated with the AD server. So I'll be creating all the users and all those things in the AD server here. When you do that mapping, there will be a new option in the drag and drop format that comes up on the login page. And when the integration is not being done or pending to do, that drop down feature is not available. I'll show you the difference between the two interface. When you go to management PC, you will see that in one of them you see the identity source and you have a drop down. It is pointing to the AD server. That is because this particular ISE server you have already integrated with the external identity source, and you don't need to worry about creating the users locally on this machine because your user ID will be created in the AD server, and that AD server user credential you will enter and you will select this and you're inside this. But for any instance, if the AD is not still being mapped or not being configured right way, then you have the other interface which I want to show you. See, like this is the default behavior. Once you integrate your ISE with the AD server, then this is the behavior. You will get to see, you can select your AD server and internal. So let's say if I log into this, so we can see that if it is integrated with AD or not integrated, because that is going to be our lab one basically. On the lab one, we are supposed to bring this up and then we have to prepare our server with AD package, DNS package, and all those things. And then only we onboard this. The dashboards have changed because this is now 3 dot series. So you will see all the options have been collapsed under dedicated tab. So there is a 3 buttons here. So when you click on it, you will get more options. So workflow, administration, policy, operation, context, and whatever recent pages or history, you can go directly on the shortcuts. So under external identity, if you click on AD server, in case if something is not mapped, you can delete it and try to add it. So let's say you want to add a new AD server. So this is how you add it. Let's say 192.168.100.198, and the AD server is networkjourney.com. Click submit. If the things are good, now this is very important step. At this point, most of the time, the students will be not able to do it because either NTP is not synchronizing or the DNS is not been resolving. So I'll show you the error that you might get. This is to log into the AD machine. It's administrator and the password is test123. Let me quickly check the credentials here. This is the server. Let me see the credential. Okay, it's administrator and password is test123. Yeah, test123. I will click this. See, this might fail because might be my NTP is not matching up, or my DNS is not good, and this is the problem that happens. If you open up the issue, the error status, you can clearly see that it will say that domain controller is not available. That means it's either unable to resolve, or it's either the NTP clock is not synchronized. So this issue happen when you have not configured those settings in the initial basic onboarding step. So if you go to, let's say, if you go to administrator and okay, system settings, check the NTP that it is pointing to. There's option here for NTP. System time. So it is pointing to a wrong NTP server. Do you think I have a internet connectivity to any ISE? There is no internet connectivity at all. So how can I expect them to point to a NTP server which is hosted over on internet? That is why I have put that package inside this. So I have to map my NTP pointing to Win server. Okay, so that I will do here. I will say that it is srv networkjourney.com, and then save this. And also there is one more option that I will do it from the CLI. So let's say if I go to Cisco ISE 2, let's log in. If you check the name server, might be that would be pointing to something else. Okay, this is good. This name server, okay, dot 200. No, that's not good, because dot 200 is my ISE server itself. This is dot 200. So I cannot point this to this. There is no meaning for it. I will be pointing it to this server, which is 198. Okay, so we will do that change. How do we change? First, I can remove it, because what happens if you add another server, it will go and get appended to this. So the best practice is you remove this and add the one which you needed. To remove, you can just place no command, no IP name server. Okay, first get into the config mode. No IP name 192.168.100.200. So it's going on the restart, but let's not restart as of now. We will restart it once we do the proper reference back to the AD server 198. And then you enter. Now fine, now we have to restart, because without restart it will not apply. So that is what it says in the warning. DNS server was modified. If you modified the setting for AD connectivity, you must restart ISE to change to take the effect. Also note ISE connectivity to AD, ensure this. Now this process will take another 5-10 minutes, or might be 15 minutes, because the application service that you need for the graphical to come up, it's bit, it needs some time. So you should have some patience when you're dealing with Cisco ISE. It will go restart the service and will take 15 minutes might be. And the one which we were already installing, you can see that it's still going on. So the first process is very time consuming. And whenever you do a mistake and you rectify it and you restart, that also will take 5 to 10, 15 minutes. So I always suggest whenever you do it carefully, so that don't don't have to restart it multiple times. But it's okay. In the lab, it's not going to cost us anything. You can even restart 10 times in a day if you have so much patience and time. You will understand your mistakes by doing wrong things. Okay, so let it go on the restart, but until then, I will go to the server, which is already up and running, right? So if I go here, let's say I put internal login. So let me show you the dashboard at this on this one. So if you go to the external identities and AD server, you can test it if in case because I powered on after a few days, even I'm not sure if it is still working or something got changed. So if I want to do a quick test, then there is an option here. So it is also checking. It's also checking a few things here. So looks like something might have changed after the reboot. Might be the DNS got updated, or might be the NTP is not syncing. You can check few things before making the connection. If you go to settings, system time, yes, see, it has been changed. Okay. So let's say SRV network journey.com. So this is one of the settings that you have to modify. Plus, you have to also make the modification of the name server. You can also do check NS lookup to see if this is resolving or not. So all the commands work very similar as of a catalyst platform. Let's bring it. So might be my name servers are somehow updated to a wrong entries, and that is why it's not getting NS looked up. So we can check by ping also. See, ping also didn't work. But if you ping to the IP, it will work. So what does it mean? It means that my DNS is not resolving. See, ping is working, but my NS lookup and the FQDN ping is not working. So let's check what is I am pointing on the name server. Is it 198 or something else? See, it is pointing on a wrong IP. So this is where the catch is. So you have to get into, let's say first you can say no to the IP name server 8.8.8. Say no to this, and then configure the right name server 192.168.100.198. Let's say yes, and now this will go on the reboot process. Okay, until this go on a reboot and come up, we will see that NTP and the AD things that we have done on this server. Okay, that is this particular guy, Win server. So I've taken 2012 for this for the lab purpose. If you check the version here, it's a 2012 product, Win server 2012. And under the server, I have installed almost a couple of packages. I've installed Active Domain and Trust. I've installed Administrative Center. I've installed DNS package, and I've installed the Certification Authority. I also installed something for NTP, which is from the services. Okay, so these all packages we need to install. This itself will take 1 to 2 hours on our first day. So on the first 2 3 days, we will be actually building up our lab topology one after one. So first might be we will only look after AD because this is very important. Then only we will proceed with ICE onboarding because you need to have NTP pointing to this. You might have to have the AD pointing to this. So you should have AD configured first, and then only we will go with the ICE configuration.
So this server has enable or activate all those applications, right? I mean, I see here.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
DNA. Okay.
Because what happens in the most of the production, we don't give a internet facilities to these product. So we have to have our AD for all the first point of authentication, certificates, and all those purpose. We will be making use of a Win server for that. Even a DNS resolution is not gonna happen over on the internet. It will be happening within the servers itself. So this is how the predictions are being used. It's very similar to your SD-WAN. Your VHs and the controllers may not have internet, and you need to have a Win server for the initial onboarding, right? So that is the same thing here also.
Okay. So I just try to understand the topology here. So I see the two ICs here. So yeah. So in this training, so we are going also. I mean, we also learning on how this in ICE plug in HA or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. This is for the active and secondary deployment. Okay. So
Okay.
standalone and distributed deployment, which we say.
Okay. I think. What about the wireless user here? I mean, AP also installed here or how?
AP is not installed in this case because that is not possible without a physical gate. So we have a VLC, and I will be showing some labs on the VLC and the integration between them. Okay, so for AP access point, you will not be able to do until there is a physical gate. I will see if that is possible. I will try to integrate. If it is not possible, then with the help of VLC, I will demonstrate the lab.
Okay. So so if AP is not, I mean, for example, if it's not, then it will be more for wired only, right? I mean, this
Yeah, it will be more for the wired
is
configuration. Wired and other things
okay.
that we can do with policies and all those things, profile and all this.
Fine.
Okay, so just an overview of the package that is installed. So we have the certificate, we have the domain, we have the DNS. Okay, so this is where I have put that srv.networkjourney.com, and I have also configured my the host file for all the needful resolution that to happen. Okay, so this is a behind the scenes story. So until you see this being doing in the class, you will not understand because it's a step by step process of installing each one of them, creating the users. So we are going to create some users here. See, this is for the one which we were creating. See, this is how do you come to see if your graphical, say for example, your graphical interface is not coming up. So how do you see if it's because of the service or what it is? So show application status. Yeah, so it is taking some time. That's all. If once you reboot, it will be all good. see what is the application status. Okay, it is to start. This problem, you will see this problem either if it is not reloaded properly or if this given resource is not sufficient. And if you see my lab topology, the one which we installed right now might be having lesser RAM and CPU. So sometimes even 8 GB and the CPU 4 are not sufficient. So in that case, we have to increase it up to 16 GB RAM and 8 GB CPU. Then only it will reload it in a proper way and the service will come out. So this is because either the reboot has not happened properly or the given resource is not sufficient. So you can only try by reloading one more time if that comes up. Otherwise, we have to go tweak the template and make it 16 GB and 8 CPU, and then we have to reboot. Okay, so there are some tricks which I will be telling you when you deploy it in the VM, so you understand much about the deployment also. Okay, so I think I wanted to show these topics to you. Let me see if there is anything. Software I've shown. License part I wanted to also tell. So there are basically four license available. One, let's say two, three, and four. So you can see this diagram. If you have the essential ones, you can only do this kind of services. If you have advantage, you can do this kind of services. And if you have premium, then you can have this many kind of services. But good thing about Cisco ISE is if you have the evaluation license, which is the test license, you can do everything, but for 90 days and for 100 of endpoint, which is more than sufficient for us in the practice lab sessions. And in case if the 90 days are also happened, what you do, you just delete, put another node and start it up, and that's all, because we are not going to have a smart account as of like SD-WAN, generate the license, mapping, and not so such, the process is not that painful. If you know, in the case of F5 LTMs, you have to generate the activation key. The key will be mapped for 90 days or 30 days, and then you need to regenerate. uh, no such things, at least in Cisco ISE. You can just wipe the node and you get another 90 days of free license, and you can practice most of the things. So this is what the Cisco offers for the people who are practicing it. So if you see my lab, I think I will have some 70 or 75 days of. See, it is showing me 82 days. I think the other one is also almost like 80, 90, 80, almost like 80 days. So that is a good thing about the Cisco product. Even Cisco Fire comes with the same concept of evaluation license, which runs for 90 days. And Cisco ISE is very similar. Okay, unlike different products. All right, guys. So that is what from my side, from the technical side. I have given you the difference between ISE and Cisco ACS server, why ISE and what are the benefits of it, the exam pattern for Cisco ISE and CCI security, the hardware version for ISE, the secure network server for ISE deployment, the software and the VM way of deployment and configuring it, and the license overview. And also we had a quick lab to see the onboarding process and to integrate with the AD servers. This is the lab diagram. So these are the ISE servers. This is the AD server. These are the network devices which we would be onboarding. We will also have some more device like ASA and firepower. This is the management PC to take the graphical interface of eyes and start doing the deployment. And also here we will put later on some topics related to API automation. So whatever tools like Postman is needed, we will put it up here. So total duration of this batch is almost like 2 to 3 months. It's a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday, and the time is 9 to 10:30 p.m. in India. We will be giving you the lab access for 3 months to the remote lab if you do not have a good laptop. But if someone has a personal good laptop and personal server, then we will also give you the home lab setup with the ready-made file, which on deploying on your VM or virtualization will be looking like very similar to what we have in this presentation. Okay, and all the PPT, all the step-by-step PDF for each workbook or each lab scenario, all will be given in the format of PDF. Live classes are recorded and will be put up in our Learn LMS, which is again a lifetime accessible. So you can access your videos anytime. PDF you can download. Home lab is your own for lifetime. The remote lab is on a basis of the auto expiring. So we will be giving initially 3 months. If you want to add another 15 days or 30 days, we will extend it. And all the rest of the things I've put up. More detail my salesperson will give in the next 2 to 3 or 5 minutes. So if you have any doubt with respective to technology, you can ask me. And later I will be handing this meeting to Sajid, and he will be taking care from the sales point of view. So any question that you have from the course topic or from the lab or from any side, then you can let me know. Otherwise, I'll be pointing.
Who's teaching this course?
So this course will be taught by me. It's a part of my CCI Security ongoing batch.
Okay.
Okay, and for the people who joined for the first time, so let me tell you, I'm also taking up CCI Security 6.1, and ISE is one of the topic under that. So in case if you're interested for this, it's your choice. You can go with this. Or if you only want Cisco ISE at the moment, you can also go with only ISE. So choice is yours. As I said, my next uh, person would be giving you more detail about the flows and all those things. Okay. So all right, I'll hand over to him, and you can clear all your further doubts. So Sajid, you are you in this call?
Yeah, I'm there. I will take.
Okay, I'll stop my sharing. You can share your screen.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, guys? Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me. Myself, Sajid. I'm student relationship manager and the counselor. So I'm here to give you all the details regarding the course for the CCI security and Cisco ISE standard module, and with the CCNP security as well. With all the details I'm going to give you here. So let's start with the first template. So here I'll be giving you details on the course syllabus and class schedules, how the flow goes on. Like for CCI security, we are going to cover here totally version 1.1 training. So as per you can see on the screen, so the course will be comes under like we are going to cover Cisco ISE FTD, and 𝐬𝐴 and SVPN, and Cisco ISE, and ESA, WSA, and CCIE Security Bootcamp will be there. So these all modules will be going through for the CCIE Security. And guys who are willing to go for the start with the CCNP Security first, so they can go for the Cisco ISE FTD 5.0 and for the 𝐬𝐴. So and simultaneously on other time zones, like other times, so our batch is going on for the CCNP Security. So if anyone is interested, you can let us know, so we'll be directly post you there as well. And this CCIE Security is also going on. So simultaneously we are going with the Cisco ISE module now. So standalone, if anyone is looking for the Cisco ISE, they guys can take the Cisco ISE as well. So as our trainer Sagar sir explained regarding whoever are looking for the CCIE Security totally, they can go for the CCIE Security. Okay, like I have mentioned here as well. So who are going to go for the CCNP Security, they'll be going to attend the classes for the Cisco ISE FTD and the SCORE model. Or else, if anyone looking for instead of 𝐬𝐴, they can go for the SVPN. So we'll be having the choosing the option for the 𝐬𝐴 or SVPN with the CCNP Security. Or else who are going for the CCIE Security, they'll be going to cover all these total modules as I mentioned: Cisco ISE FTD, 𝐬𝐴, and SVPN, Cisco ISE. As of now, we are going to start this module, and next will be the Cisco ESA, WSA, and CCIE Security Bootcamp will be there at the end. Okay. And regarding to the class schedule, so as of now, this Cisco ISE module will be going to conducted on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, 2 days on weekends. The classes will be there, and the time will be from 9 p.m. IST to around 10:30 to 11 p.m. IST. Okay. So overall, I have mentioned here total course duration of the CCIE Security. It will be going to take around 6 to 7 months. If you count as a standalone for the Cisco ISE, it will be going to take some 2 to 2.5 months. Okay, and the next, I will be going to the next slide where we'll be giving the details regarding the course, enrollment, and access details. So here, like you guys, once you are going to enroll for this course, we'll be providing you the recordings of the your live class. So let's say you'll be having the LMS lifetime access. There you will be getting the recordings of your classes which you have attended through Zoom meeting, and that recordings will be uploaded from the backend to the web portal. From there you can access it. Like let's say if you are preparing for something, or if you are going to recall, if you have to just work on something, you can refer from there, and that will remain with you for lifetime. Whenever you want, you can access it. And secondly, we'll be providing you the 24/7 remote lab access that will be accessible totally remotely, which are present on our servers and cloud servers. And as per you can see on the screen, for Cisco ISE, you'll be getting the dedicated 3 months of lab access around the clock, 24/7. You can access it for the 3 months. Okay, and for CCIE Security, you'll be getting the total whole 1 year of lab access that you can access it 24/7 whenever you want. You can access it as per your time regions. Okay. In case if you guys are running out with the subscription of the 3 months of lab, in case if you want to extend some more, in that case scenarios, so we'll be extending next 15 days or 1 month, max to max we can give it to you. Okay. Next we'll be moving forward for the materials. Like we'll be going to provide you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, and step-by-step lab manuals, and all the materials will be providing you instantly once the class is done. Our trainer Sagar sir also dropping the materials through dedicated enroll group, and all those step-by-step materials will be given that you can download and you can keep it with you as well. And the G Drive access also remains with you for lifetime. Okay, and the next will be the like home lab setup. Let's say if you have the really good configuration of your system, then we'll be assisting you to the setup a lab on your personal laptop, or your maybe you'll be having some personal servers, home servers. So in that case, we'll be helping you to set up a lab on your laptop or server, and that will remain with you for lifetime. So you just need to do one thing: you need to download the required files from our G Drive, and like the resource from where you can download, and you just let us know regarding the all the files you have downloaded, and one of our team member will connect with you, and he will do the setup as per accordingly through the remote session. Okay, and we'll be providing you the 24/7 backend support from our network journey team. Like if you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the course, or regarding to the labs, or regarding to the portal, it may be concerned to anything, might be related to the topics or class modules, in case if you are missed out anything, it may be. You just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you, and we will resolve your issues accordingly in meantime. Okay,